Meghan Markle's trouble with Netflix didn't begin with a flop or a cancelled contract. It kicked off with cardboard signs, rap music, and a video she never should have made. What she believed would be an empowering, bold, maybe even iconic statement ended up igniting a fire Netflix had already been dousing in gasoline. Picture this: Meghan in her home, phone propped up, rap music blaring, holding homemade cardboard signs like a high school drama project. Only now the stakes were real. Each sign bore the name of a studio, not ones she adored, but the ones that had turned her down: Paramount, HBO, Blumhouse, Netflix. One by one, she tore them apart, tossed them aside. Then came the Netflix sign. The tone shifted instantly. She walked to the camera, stared directly into it, and unleashed everything. Claims of on-set toxicity, accusations that producers silenced her, and even leaks of Netflix projects that hadn't been announced yet. She spoiled months of planned reveals and gave away the entire plot of the first 4 episodes of her show's second season, before a trailer had even dropped. This wasn't some offhand social media rant, it was a blatant breach of contract. And it wasn't hackers, leaks, or whistleblowers that tipped Netflix off. It was her own agent and manager, who panicked after seeing the footage and reported her. That's when chaos erupted behind the scenes. Netflix, already embarrassed by the poor performance of the first season of With Love, Meghan Jin, was scrambling to save whatever hype was left for season 2. Millions had been slashed from the marketing budget, and a planned big trailer launch in late July was quietly scrapped. The strategy shifted to keeping things quiet, downplaying the problems, and hoping no one noticed the mess. Meghan, feeling abandoned, decided to take control, violating multiple contract clauses in the process. Speaking publicly about behind-the-scenes drama? Forbidden. Spoiling plots? Absolutely not. Leaking unannounced projects? A legal disaster. The video still exists, and though she agreed not to post it yet, she's threatening to release it after season 2 airs, claiming she wants to tell her truth about what really happened on set. Netflix has already brought in legal teams, preparing to hit back if she does. When confronted, Meghan didn't back down. She doubled down, insisting she could say whatever she wanted, accusing her own team of betrayal, and blaming Netflix for sabotaging her. This wasn't just a PR misstep, it was an open declaration of war. Now, she's without an agent, without a manager, and blacklisted from most of the studios she tore into. The scandal didn't just harm Netflix, it pushed her career to the brink. And the deeper you look, the more obvious it becomes this wasn't impulsive. She'd been planning it. The cardboard signs weren't props, they were a warning shot. When Ted Sarandos saw the footage, he didn't flinch. He sat with arms crossed, eyes fixed on the screen as Meghan destroyed the logos and launched into her tirade. According to an insider, he stayed silent for 2 minutes after it ended before turning to legal and saying, "We're done with her. Make it clean." That's how quickly it fell apart. Meghan thought she was exposing Netflix, but in reality, she detonated her own career. Netflix already had all the justification they needed to end the partnership for good. Internally, they'd been uneasy about her for a while. The show had underperformed, viewership was far below projections, critics were harsh, and the audience score was abysmal. What was meant to be a bold, personal project to reinvent her post-royal brand had instead turned into a running joke, and season 2 wasn't showing much promise. Netflix had been quietly reallocating resources, pulling ad dollars, reassigning social media staff, and shifting promo slots to other productions. Meghan noticed the freeze-out, but instead of handling it through negotiations or professional discussion, she went rogue. That might have felt like playful rebellion to her, but Netflix isn't just a streaming service. It's a corporate entity with contracts, confidentiality clauses, and its own brand to protect. Her accusations of toxicity, mistreatment, and creative suppression weren't new to them, but when she spoiled unreleased content and revealed confidential studio strategies, she crossed into legally actionable territory. What had started as a personality clash became a documented breach of trust. Her agents didn't just report her out of fear, they were protecting themselves. They had pitched her to executives, vouched for her professionalism, and assured Netflix she could carry a show alone. Once the video surfaced, that credibility collapsed, and soon Meghan was turning on them as well, accusing her own team of sabotage, jealousy, and attempts to control her image. In reality, they were simply worn down. One longtime team member reportedly told a friend, We spent 2 years putting out fires. This time she burned the whole forest. Even Netflix's top leadership was stunned by how far she had gone. Co-CEO Greg Peters was reportedly shaken after seeing the final cut of the video, not because it contained bombshell revelations, but because it was erratic, off-brand, and blatantly self-destructive. He called an emergency meeting with marketing and legal, and by the day's end the decision was made: no third season, no side projects, no off-the-record appearances. The plug wasn't just being pulled, the cord was being severed entirely. Still, Meghan refused to retreat. Behind closed doors, she pushed harder, approaching smaller networks, indie producers, and even pitching herself for documentaries about the entertainment industry. She began framing herself as a whistleblower, a truth-teller willing to challenge Netflix. But to the industry, those cardboard signs weren't symbols of bravery, they were red flags. No studio wants to hire someone who might burn the house down on their way out. Netflix, for its part, isn't waiting for the next blow-up. Its legal team is already moving to contain whatever comes next. Netflix is fully prepared to unleash every contractual and legal measure at its disposal if Meghan ever uploads that footage, whether as a deleted scenes stunt or disguised as artistic expression. Multiple agreements were violated: NDAs, confidentiality terms, even competitive disclosure clauses. This isn't about petty retaliation, it's about setting an industry precedent. If a high-profile partner can publicly torch a collaboration without repercussions, it sends a dangerous signal to others. Inside sources suggest Netflix may pursue damages not just to recover lost marketing costs, but to make an example of what happens when a partner weaponizes their own platform against them. They've quietly taken similar actions before, but Meghan's case is different. Her entire act is captured on video, leaving no room for reinterpretation. Even if she claims it was performance art or a personal message, her contracts tell a different story. In the meantime, the fallout continues to spread. Netflix has frozen all future royalty payments from the With Love, Meghan project. Her team is contesting the move, arguing the footage was never officially released, but Netflix internally classifies it as intent to distribute, which they say is grounds enough to withhold funds. Other studios aren't commenting publicly, but behind the scenes, the signal is loud and clear: stay away. Meghan's name is now being flagged in submission filters, and agencies that once pushed to get her in the room are suddenly restructuring, declining new clients, or going radio silent. While not officially blacklisted, she is in the unofficial sense, and in Hollywood, that's what really counts. As one industry insider put it, she brought a sword to a handshake. People were willing to navigate her quirks, demands, edits, and last-minute rewrites, but leaking private projects, tearing down your own show, and humiliating collaborators in front of the world crosses a line into dangerous territory. Even her fan base is divided. Some still applaud her for speaking out, but many are baffled. Why sabotage your own show? Why target the very platform that gave her creative control and millions to build her brand? The motives don't feel calculated. They seem personal, emotional, maybe impulsive. And that's the core of the disaster. Meghan wanted total control over her image and narrative, over how she's remembered post-royalty, but she chose the wrong battlefield. Streaming giants don't engage in public fights. They respond with silence, legal teams, and locked doors. Now, on the outside, she's learning just how small the entertainment industry feels when you're seen as the problem, not the talent. Reports say she's attempting another rebrand, with talk of a podcast revival, a potential book deal, and even producing her own content to bypass studios entirely. But credibility is hard to restore when your last major partnership ended in lawsuits and scorched earth. Netflix, for its part, has moved on, directing its energy toward bigger, safer bets. With Love, Meghan will likely be released quietly, buried among splashier titles, with no press tour, no premiere, no big send-off, just a discreet upload, a few awkward social media posts, and then silence. And Meghan will be left holding a video no one wants to see, a message no one's willing to hear, and a reputation the industry won't forget, no matter how many times she rewrites her story.